Hi, I'm Zack Miller, and I'm the narrator of Zack Miller's book, Anomaly, How to Finally Stand Out from the Crowd. And today I will be reading a chapter 6 to be exact, of part 1, called Bringing Awareness. Awareness is good, and you should bring it to wherever you are. I'm reading every chapter of Anomaly until I can't anymore, which hopefully means I get through the whole book. And as Zack Miller's narrator, I think it's important that I continue to read it. So, hi, I'm Zack Miller, and I have an important message. I'm the narrator of Anomaly, How to Finally Stand Out from the Crowd, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. You can follow me everywhere on the internet at Zack Miller Says. If you don't know how to spell it, it's Zack with a Z and an A and a C and a K, and you probably already know how to spell Miller and Says, S-A-Y-S. Moving on to Chapter 6, Bringing Awareness. If you'd like to follow along, you can read with me. Simply go to zackmillersays.com/anomaly and grab your own copy. Or the ebook. Or listen to the Audible edition or whatever. Just follow along. The first step in any funnel is bringing awareness to you and or your business by getting seen by your potential customers. This can be produced in a variety of ways depending on what you're trying to get out of people. Some of the ways to do this are through an introduction by a mutual acquaintance, writing or sharing a blog post, creating and posting a video on the tube of you or Vimeo, doing an interview or making a comment on Quora, Reddit, or other social media posts. Humans see over 5,000 different ads each and every day. I bet you didn't know that. That's an astounding amount. Look around, look at your clothes, your phone, your car, your office. Ads are everywhere. Sometimes you can be in the same room, office, event, or online platform and never be seen. We will go over ways to be noticed later. Hint. Ooh, I like hints. My favorite way is the Zack Miller way. Ooh, what does that mean? Stay tuned. Actually, I'm about to just say it. In the business world, the overwhelming majority looks the same. They wear a suit. I wear jeans and a t-shirt with black sambas. It's my uniform, and it helps me stand out. Clearly, right now, you can't see that I'm wearing jeans, but you're just going to have to make believe. I mean, would you like to see that I'm wearing pajamas, jeans, khakis? Like Jake from State Farm, I'm wearing khakis. I wonder if I'm legally allowed to say that. Or if that is like copywritten. Hi, I'm Zack from State Farm. I don't know. I'm wearing khakis. But I don't work for State Farm. So, it's my uniform and it helps me stand out. If you're attending a conference or meetup, get your hands on the attendee list beforehand, and reach out to the attendees one by one and let them know you'll be in the room and love to meet. If you're listening to this right now and you can't go to a conference, there's a lot of online conferences. The same thing works. Just because you hear something one way doesn't mean that you can't get a little bit creative to figure out how to do it on your end. If you're not going to be creative, well, what's the point? The way you have already introduced, that way Hi, I'm Zack Miller, the narrator of Anomaly, and I cannot speak today when I read. This way, you have already introduced yourself before you ever meet in person. If they respond, then you have the added validation that they're interested in meeting you as well. The hard part of making the introduction is over. Yay! And you haven't even met them in person yet. Well done, you. The pressure is lessened. Way to go! Yeah! Congratulations! You've done all the hard work. Or at least that step's worth of hard work. When you meet someone for the first time, don't ask, what do you do for a living? That is unoriginal, boring, and is not in the least setting you apart as an anomaly. Instead, ask questions like, what vacations do you have planned? What's a project that you're working on? Or that you're pumped up about? Pumped up about. Or, what do you do when you're not working? Or my favorite one, of course, Way1, hashtag Way1, WAYWON. What are you watching on Netflix. These questions, while fairly non-intrusive, are much more interesting and engaging. People love to talk about what gets them excited and what they're passionate about. Besides being great conversation pieces, what better way to get people to have positive associations with you and or your business than if you're talking to them about things that make them happy and excited? Don't overlook this. Like, this stuff is like legit awesome and is very powerful. When it comes to creating a visible message, you can't do what everyone else is doing. In swimming, Michael Phelps's competitors would often look over to see how far back he was, which led Phelps to an advantage. He rarely looked at his competitors and stayed, or if ever, if never seen Michael Phelps look at a competitor, and stayed focused on the task at hand. You need to be tunnel visioned. Tunnel visioned. Set your sights on what you want to accomplish and don't let anything or anyone take your attention away from that. Focus on what you can do, not what someone else is doing. Sure, you can see what others are doing to make sure you don't copy them, but to stand out, do what no one else is doing. Like this. I've never seen anyone go and record their audiobook in the way that I'm doing it. So originally I'm doing it through a Facebook Live, and then I'm exporting the audio to my podcast, which I've never seen done before, and then uploading it to YouTube. So those are 3 ways alone that you can consume it. And then there's the other normal ways as well. So Anomaly is being done in a pioneering kind of way. How's that voice for you? The problem when I go off script is that it's hard for me to find the words to get back. Focus on what you can do, not what someone else is doing. Sure, you can. Nope, sorry about that. If you're creating a blog, podcast, or video, don't interview the same people others are. But if you do, don't ask the exact same questions. It will camouflage. Ask different questions that provoke new insights into the subject and that benefit your audience. By the way, BT dubs, standing out doesn't mean you have to be an eyesore or quirky just for the sake of being quirky. You can if you want, but not everyone needs to be Lady Gaga. I'm not saying I don't like Lady Gaga. I'm a huge fan. She had a great Super Bowl halftime show. I'm just saying that you don't have to wear steak on yourself to stand out. There's other things that you can do. You could just have phenomenal music. To stand out, you can do something as simple as smiling and saying thank you. Those 2 things are not done enough today. Literally, just say thank you and smile, and good things will happen to you. Find creative ways to stand out. If you host a podcast, try interviewing a guest who doesn't frequently do interviews, or interview a guest in a unique setting. Think Between Two Ferns, or in their home office with a WWE Championship belt and The Rock looking down at you. Hello, Rock. Whichever ways you choose to be creative, the ultimate goal is to get the attention of your target customers. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how creative you are, the content will be useless and no one will ever see it or consume it. When you're on social media or search for a keyword on a search engine, what makes you stop scrolling? Start a swipe file, which is a collection of sales and advertisement documents and examples somewhere on your computer, where you can compile everything that made you stop scrolling and start engaging. This will benefit you later. I recommend that you actually create a swipe file in addition to this that is both positive and negative things that you can look through and say, oh, this worked for me. Oh, I thought this was good. Oh, I thought this was bad. So that later on when you're trying to you're like, oh, I don't know what to think about. I don't know what to say. Go through the swipe file and get the look through from an inspiration standpoint to say, oh, I like that style. I liked that text. I like what they did here. I should do something similar. Also in the same vein, if you thought something looked stupid, don't do that exact same thing. Insert most of you here, because a lot of people do the same as everyone else, and they're like, well, it didn't work. I tried so hard. Because you literally copy and pasted someone else's campaign, and it doesn't work that way. This will benefit you later. How can you do something similar for your marketing? Don't copy what someone else is doing. Dissect what they did, why it worked, and how you can put your own spin on it. It could be finding a meetup that hosts a series of your targets and buying them cupcakes. Or if it's at a bar, a round of shots. By doing something off the cuff and out of the ordinary, your targets will sit there and say, wait, what just happened? Also, what's cool in the physical book, you guys can see there, it's kind of like, I don't know what to call it. It's like air streamed out. I don't know what those things are, but like, you know how a plane has like the streaks of like smoke or clouds. I don't know what those things really are. But basically there's a plan around it from the cover of the book and the streaks around it, which are case studies of people. This one is about LessConf. At LessConf in Atlanta, Georgia. Yo, what up, Georgia? Georgia on my mind. Also probably copywritten, and I can't say that. Georgia, not on my mind. See, now I can do it. Also, can't sing. At LessConf in Atlanta, Georgia, one of the sponsors was Blue Ox Jerky, a direct-to-consumer beef jerky business. Literally the best beef jerky I've ever had. I don't eat meat anymore, so I don't eat beef jerky. But if I did, that stuff was like bangerang. It was legit. LessConf founder Alan Branch was looking for more unique items and had tried Blue Ox in the past. He reached out to the company and invited them to sponsor the conference, plus put a sample of their product in front of their attendees. Branch knew his target and leveraged that information. He learned who Blue Ox was trying to get in front of through a conversation, and he saw overlap. He then sold the idea of Blue Ox getting in front of hundreds of prospects in one setting. It's a great idea. And if you're trying to get in front of new people, you don't have to get into the super masses. You can get in front of, dozens or hundreds of people. But if they're the legit perfect customer and you can legit perfectly get in front of them like Blue Ox did, it's a great opportunity. They probably spent, my guess is $1,000 to get in front of this conference, maybe a little bit more, and they made hundreds off of me alone. So if there was a couple of me, they made their money back. Let's look at another example of how to get new customers interested in you. When you're in the food court at a mall or Costco, what do most of those restaurants and vendors do to get you interested in their food? They give you a free sample. God, I love that stuff. Here, try this General Tso's chicken. For the minimal cost. That probably is never going to happen again, by the way. That's sad. For the minimal cost of giving free samples, they take a small following and turn it into a raving fan base, assuming their food is tasty. I just realized, as the narrator of this, Zack Miller, the narrator of Zack Miller's book Anomaly, that's me, Zack Miller, who also wrote the book. You're getting that. I feel like my voice today has been a little different. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's because I was trying to be a narrator instead of just myself. Sorry for not genuinely being me. I'll work on that. The style of first engagement show people who you are, and even if your business is not food or drink based, food and coffee sell. Want someone's attention? Send them a gift card for a local coffee shop along with a handwritten introduction card. Maybe even invite them out. Go ahead, try it, and see how they react. There's a pretty good chance you'll get the meeting with them. Literally, take a card, get a handwritten card. You can go to Amazon, you can go to Wally World, you can go to all these places, and you can get a bunch of super cheap cards. You can get 200 cards for $15. Stamp is 55 cents, and if there's a lot of prospects that you want to get in front of, buy them $5. Go buy 20 $5 gift cards from Starbucks or your local coffee shop. I'm sure they'll love it, and I would be willing to bet that a minimum of 5 of those people will at least respond, if not more. I think the number's higher, but I didn't want you guys to come back and be like, oh, Zach, you lied to me. Only 7 of them did. 7? You get 7 conversations for what? $107? Those are pretty good numbers. Once you get someone's attention, you need to validate their fit with what you're offering. A good way to do this is to collect some information from them. If they won't give you their email address, they likely won't pull out their wallets and give you that cash money. Create a list. Roadmap. Jump the gun there. Roadmap. Create a list of 3 go-to icebreaker questions for when you first meet someone. For example, steal mine. What are you watching on Netflix is one. Create a swipe file for marketing examples that hook you or don't hook you. What interests your targets, meaning the people that you're trying to talk to, what do they like to do? What are they interested in? So if you're trying to hook me, I would talk about triathlon, triathlon stuff, wrestling, and what am I watching on Netflix? Those are the 3 things. If you're trying to get my attention, those would be the 3 questions that I'll ask you right now. Number 4, provide 3 free ways to provide value to your targets. Example, food court samples at a shopping mall. And number 5, which isn't here in the book, follow at Zack Miller Says everywhere. Also, if you're looking for wonderful tips and tricks direct to your email inbox each and every Monday morning at 10:13 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, simply head on over to ZackMillerSays.com/newsletter. NEWS letter LE T-E-R. ZackMillerSays.com/newsletter. This has been your narrator, Zack Miller, reading Anomaly, How to Finally Stand Out from the Crowd, written by Zack Miller, narrated by his narrator, Zack Miller. That was chapter 6 of part 1, called Bringing Awareness. Coming up next, chapter 7, which is after 6. Stay tuned. Bye-bye. Peace and pancakes. Chapter 7. Here we go.